Howard was kind, he was thoughtful, he was ever so generous, and he also had a great sense of humor.
A great intellect. He had leadership and he had tremendous advocacy. He was guided by principles of making San Diego and the world a better place.
He loved to read, he loved to research, he loved to gain knowledge. But he didn't just love to gain the knowledge, he tried and strove throughout his life to apply it.
Howard had a severe speech impediment. He could barely answer questions in law school when he was called upon by the professors. But he tackled that like he tackled all the challenges in his professional life. He went to Toastmasters, San Diego JCs. He did the Speak Up program and won the state championship.
Howard was the epitome of public service. He started his work as a public sector lawyer at the Attorney General's office, and he left to go do his great work at the state legislature. But he returned to the Attorney General's office.
He had tremendous credibility. When he spoke from experience, from research, and from understanding. He was incredibly credible, and I think that was one of his greatest strengths as a lawyer, as a public servant, as a state assemblyman.
People in the assembly, Republicans and Democrats alike, would go to say, what does this proposed legislation say? And he would break it up into sentence to sentence to explain what it was intended to say and what it actually said. And he was a leader in the assembly in that regard.
When he took a break to go to the state legislature, he came back to the Attorney General's office to work in the Consumer Protection Unit. He was an advocate against malfeasance in the marketplace.
Howard's dominant interest was politics. He remained very active in politics. Now, when I say active, I mean he would go to multiple Democratic club meetings. He had issues in which he believed strongly, and he worked to try and change those. So his hobby was the public good.
What is his legacy? I'm sure he would say it was AB 411. That legislation became the eminent premier legislation to require water testing from Imperial Beach to the top of California to ensure that they don't get sick from the water.
At the Attorney General's office, he actually supervised other deputies. Howard was the type of supervisor who allowed or respected the attorneys to show their individual style. But in doing so, he also worked with them to bring out their best. And in that way, he was able to help form great lawyers and better writers. They wanted to write better for him. He brought out the best in the deputies that he worked with.
Howard also taught. He taught at University of San Diego, both in the law school initially and then in the undergraduate school, teaching young people how to take their ideas and make them into law. Many of the people who worked with him side by side, not just in politics, but also in the Attorney General's office, looked to him as a mentor.
It was his ability to bring people together. Howard had a knack to find the common threads that brought people to the table on an issue that they could all get on board with. He had an innate sense of intelligence. He had a curiosity about people, about the issues. He had a sense of fairness. He had master negotiating skills. And that's what brought people to the table to come together for the common good.
I'm proud to say that my friend, Howard Wayne, is going to be recognized as a distinguished lawyer for the things he did professionally. He didn't do them for the accolades. He did them to make San Diego a better place.
I read the criteria for being honored, and one of them is demonstrating outstanding dedication to the welfare of the community. And I cannot think of another person who exemplifies that more than Howard, my brother. He was a treasure, a jewel, and a very unique person, totally selfless and dedicated to the common good.